You know, probably the most, or the single greatest engineering accomplishment in Michigan history, hands down has to be the Mackinaw Bridge, or Mighty Mac as we Michiganians like to call it. The span known as the Straits of Mackinaw are turbulent waters indeed. But up until the bridge was opened in 1957, the fastest way to get from one peninsula to the other was by car ferry across the straits. And I imagine that had to be very time consuming on a holiday weekend, especially waiting in lines perhaps hours for your turn to come up to get on that ferry to go across, and then to get back across after your holiday or vacation is over with. But as you might imagine, there's a lengthy history behind the Mackinaw Bridge that goes back as far as the 1880s, but I'm going to save that story for another time. I just want to look at these two postal covers that I recently acquired. And look at a few cool facts about the bridge. A postal cover, simply put, is an envelope with a cancellation addressed stamp. That's a postal cover. Okay, so collectors call them covers, but they're envelopes, mail, if you will. Anyways, the first cover features a 4-cent stamp with the American flag on it. A very nice looking stamp, as you can see. And it bears a cancellation which is circular with 4 straight lines going across the stamp itself, and it reads PS Convention Station, Birmingham, Michigan, April 3rd, 1958, 1:30 p.m. And the cover also features an attractive red depiction of the Mackinaw Bridge and of the Straits of Mackinaw. Now, this cover was issued not only to commemorate the opening of the bridge, but also to mark the 20th anniversary of the PS Stamp Collectors Organization. While the bridge was opened in 1957, the actual dedication ceremonies didn't take place until 1958. So, but inside the cover is a really nice extra. It's a card printed, which was for the dedication program that was going on at the time, or the festival. And that dedication festival was held on June 26th to the 28th, 1958. And the card lists many statistics about the bridge, such as these. The total length, including both approaches, is 5 miles. The length of the suspension span is 8,614 feet. The length of the main span, 3,800 feet. Height of the main tower above the water, 552 feet. Piers below the water, 206 feet. Minimum clearance, 148 feet. Get this one. Cables, 24.5 inches in diameter. 12,580 wires, woven together, so to speak, make up the cable. That's a lot of wire. But add to that, the total length of the cables is 42,000 miles. And the total cost of a paltry $100 million. Okay, moving on. The second cover is actually a First Day cover issue for the Postal's commemorative stamp marking the opening of the Mackinaw Bridge. The commemorative features a 3-cent blue stamp, and it also has the first day of issue cancellation, which reads Mackinaw Bridge, Michigan, June 25th, 1958, 9 a.m. Now, this also has a private cancellation from the dedication festival showing the bridge spanning the 2 peninsulas, and the cachet, as you can see, is quite beautifully engraved. Now, like most residents of the state, I have crossed the bridge both as a driver and as a passenger. And it can be nerve-wracking if you're afraid of heights, and I am, but it is most harrowing when you cross the bridge during a bad storm. And as I did on my honeymoon back around 1985. Yes, I can't remember what year I got married to her, but yeah, anyways, to be honest, I can't even remember the month or day that my ex-wife and I were married. But we lived in Oscoda, Michigan, and that day that we got married was beautiful, sunny and warm, and we got married outdoors in a friend's yard. And oddly, as we were getting married, you could hardly hear anything going on because there was a garbage truck picking up trash that day. Rather prophetic, since that marriage ended up in the trash. But anyways, that's another story. We both only had like 4 days off from work, and both loved the Upper Peninsula. So we decided that we'd drive up there after the ceremony and spend our honeymoon up there. And it wasn't a long drive, maybe an hour, hour and a half to the bridge. We stopped to eat some yard sales and garage sales and things. But once on the road, the weather deteriorated rather quickly. And by the time we arrived at the bridge, it had turned quite cold. And the rain beat down so hard that we could hardly see, and the wind was blowing wickedly, to say the least. With some apprehension, we started across the bridge amid cautions to remain in I believe it was the outside lane only, and to use extra precautions due to the winds. And as we were crossing, the decision was made by the Mackinaw Bridge Authority to close down the bridge. This happens from time to time when there's a bad storm or inclement weather. So with no way to turn around, we bravely, and with white knuckles on the steering wheel, made the 5 miles across the bridge to the UP in St. Ignace, which is a small city that I love. It's absolutely rich in history, and it is beautiful. It's like almost like it is really almost like going back through time. So anyways, once we got across, we tried to call home to let our families know that we had arrived safely, but all lines were down, and this was before cell phones. Yes, there was a time before cell phones. And that night and most of the following day, I felt like we were stranded, which, for a honeymoon isn't a bad feeling to have. You two are stranded together, and oh yeah, but we had our obnoxious dog with us. Yeah, Happy. He's a story for another time too. But anyway, that was my big Mac adventure story. The Mackinaw Bridge is part of the Interstate I-75 system and the Lake Michigan and Lake Huron elements of the Great Lakes Circle Tour across the straits. And it is also part of the U.S. North Country National Scenic Trail System. The bridge connects the city of St. Ignace on the north, and on the south, Mackinaw City. And if you've never been there, you gotta go. It's a gotta go place. So put it on your bucket list. But if you'd like to know more of the bridge history, let me know, and I'll consider doing another program. And I appreciate you watching. I hope that you all remain safe, healthy, and that you have a blessed Christmas season coming up. God bless you all, and I love you all very much.